Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
It's Josh Widdicombe. Saturday morning. Good morning, producer Neil.
Good morning.
And you've, well, let's start by saying you've implemented a new musical bed for us to talk over.
Yeah, you like it?
How do you feel it's going so far?
It's making me feel smooth.
Is it? I feel like I'm in a speakeasy. I feel like someone's going to burst in and we're going to have to pretend we're in a pet shop. Oh, no, now I don't. Now I feel like I'm on a chat show. This might be a little busy. I'm not sure. Good morning, listeners. It's Saturday morning. It's XFM. We've had a week off. In that time, Neil's discovered jazz, seemingly. How's your week off been?
Well, I only had last Saturday off and I moved.
You crazy cat.
I know, yeah. I moved in with my in-laws. So,
oh.
Yeah.
And your wife?
My wife's there as well, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, we're in the process of buying a house, but
You're in the process.
It's just a long, drawn-out, complicated process.
Yeah, well, Tom Crane's joining us after 11, and he told me recently that he was going to buy a house for September. But he hadn't started looking or got a mortgage. So maybe you could give him a few tips. He's got basically the greatest story that's ever been told. A story that got 1,500 retweets 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And now we've got the exclusive interview. I feel very honoured. I had a week off at Glastonbury, and now I'm back. And this happened at Glastonbury, this Tom Craine incident. And I'm just hugely excited. I feel like the whole show's built around it. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go a song, and then I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
And then I just enjoyed it when the piano kicked in there for a moment. That was exciting, wasn't it? What the people at home don't realise is there's no piano on the bed. It's actually Neil playing along. Yeah, we've got all the usual stuff, haven't we? Also, we've got John Suchet. Yeah, brother of David, star of Classic FM, reporting back on 2 weeks ago our Mozart argument. So, show can be more packed.
Josh Widdicombe,
XFM. Trying to be cool, Phoenix. Do you know what people don't say enough, Neil? It's what is that bed? What are you doing to me?
I want to make it like Fraser, this show.
This is unbelievable. This is nice. Oh, we'll keep with this. Do you know what people don't say about Phoenix enough? That they're just really good. I really like Phoenix.
They are brilliant.
They're great. That is a really good song. There you go. You were right. I'm finding this distracting. I feel like I am. That was unbelievable. Have you lost your mind in the last fortnight?
Just trying to bring a different vibe.
You're not producing Late Night with Josh Widdicombe, my chat show in which I feel like Letterman. What's going on? Anyway, good morning. Neil's having a good time. I'm not sure if you're being paid for this. Have you? Are you in a jazz band and you've secretly thought, I reckon I could just sneak this onto the radio?
Let's get some PRS money.
Do you want to explain what PRS money is for the people at home?
Performance, I don't even know. But basically, people get paid money when songs get played on the radio.
Isn't that unbelievable? Phoenix, cleaning up. How much did we pay him?
About 7p.
7p, not cleaning up. So your jazz band.
I
mean, there's at least 7 or 8 instruments in this. Oh, he should be getting more than the rest of
That's Clive.
That's Clive. Now, let's move on from this. There's 2 topics I want to talk to you about this week. Luckily, there's saxophone and producers getting ahead of themselves. No, number one, they're both from Glastonbury. I went to Glastonbury with one of the people I went with was Tom Craine, who not the ex of Sarah Harding, the comedian, as he is now dubbed. And one of the things he did, I can't get over this bed. It's unbelievable. One of the things. Don't stop it. Don't stop it. That's better.
No, we're sticking with jazz.
We're sticking with jazz. Right. Did you see his tweet when we were?
I did. I think I know the tweet you're alluding to.
What happened was Tom Craine and I went to buy a tent. I won't bore you with the whole story because he's going to tell you. We'll tweet this from the XFM account. We'll retweet it now. He mistakenly bought a windbreak. So it was basically a small shelter for the beach, which he took to Glastonbury. And I just wanted, off that, he'll come in and tell us the full story in the second half. But off that, I did want to discuss packing holiday or festival packing mishaps. I think that says it all.
Yep.
That often we struggle with the title. I think that as a title sums it up. We're looking for holiday or festival packing mishaps. Second thing we're looking for is a subject I call I can't believe I slept through that. And it is because someone I was with overslept and missed the Rolling Stones.
Oh no!
Yeah. Like they had got up and then gone back to bed, and then they got up just in time but just couldn't get you couldn't get in the field.
Well, I'll be honest, for the TV audience, it looked like the Rolling Stones were sleeping through the Rolling Stones.
Satire. I didn't realise I was being produced by David Quantick or Stuart Maconie from The Enemy in the late 80s. So what we're going to do, that's the two we want. I think I'm really excited about these subjects. I think they're strong returns. So what are they, Neil? They are
festival or holiday packing mishaps.
Yep.
And things you've slept through.
And there's a third one, which is I played saxophone on that. Give me my money.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Hello. Now, Neil, we've a couple of topics this week. As always, I don't ask you, and then we play a song, and then I think I should ask Neil. So, have you got anything on either of the following topics? Number 1, festival or holiday mishaps. Number 2, I can't believe I slept through that.
I've got one on the second.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I'm braced.
I thought you were just standing for a different reason. When my family went to America to visit some relatives we have out there.
Yeah.
And I managed to sleep through an earthquake that happened one night.
That's more of an achievement sleep than. Do you what was it on the Richter scale?
I can't remember. It was a good kind of. It was in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
And it was a good kind of 4 or 5.
Blimey.
Next morning, everyone kind of woke up and was like, "Oh, everything all right?" I was like, "Yeah, what happened last
That's
night?"
more of an achievement sleep through than I can't believe I missed that. You gutted you missed it?
I think it would have been quite exciting.
Yeah, you just felt like you were being rocked to sleep.
I was quite young, about 8.
In fact, you're on a massage bed. I once slept through I once missed a gig by the band Dodgy. I mean, I don't want to trump your earthquake story, but it was an afternoon gig, and we had tickets for this. I would have been about 14, and it was like a kind of summer thing that they were doing at like 2 in the afternoon. But I overslept because I'd been up till 5 a.m. playing Championship Manager. Pretty rock and roll.
How did you get on?
Oh, I was very well. I don't know which game in particular it was, but it might have been the one where I guided Chester City to the FA Cup. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Still no call for a major job though. Yes, so I'd file that under the in the file the most 90s anecdote of all time.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
And now, Neil, often at this time, not often, as every week, without fail, we are joined by Joe Lysett to give us our news update. Sadly, this week, it was Joe's birthday last night, so we've given him the morning off.
Oh, that's very kind of us.
It is very nice of us, isn't it? Yeah. But also, we've got a more pressing matter than national news or international news, even, and that is picking up from 2 weeks ago when I hastily made just threw out some Mozart trivia willy-nilly like I do. Can you remember it?
You claimed that Mozart wrote his own funeral march.
Yeah, and he didn't know he was.
Yes.
But then some stranger got. So, I mean, I remembered this vaguely from school. I now regret bringing it up because it's still 2 weeks later. So, rather than let the matter lie, instead, what did you decide to do?
I went through. XFM is in the same building as Classic FM.
Yeah.
The UK's premium classical music station.
Our big rival.
Yeah, our big rival. So I went and asked them because they have the knowledge, and I went and asked one man in particular.
Mr. John Suchet.
Yep.
What does he do on?
He does 9 till 1.
9 till 1. 4 hours?
9 till 12 then.
No, I'm sure he does. I mean, the songs are longer. He doesn't have to do as much. Was he amenable?
A lovely man.
What happened? Did he just know off the top of his head?
Let me paint a picture. He sat back in his chair slightly.
Yeah.
Put his finger to his lip.
I said, Mozart.
Gazed into the distance. And then said he'd get back to me. And he did.
He did.
Yeah.
So is this his response?
I've got a little audio.
I'm very excited. Suchet, this is how you broadcast.
Dear Josh, dear XFM listener, on the morning of Saturday, the 22nd of June, you claimed two things. One shall never be repeated on UK radio again. The other was that Mozart composed his own funeral march. Well, Josh, I can neither confirm nor deny the truth of this story, as it's shrouded in much mystery. Love the show, although I listen via the podcast.
Amazing.
John Suchet.
Amazing. Genuinely made my day. Do you know what annoys me? It's the implication that we've only got one XFM listener. I mean, come on, John. I know Classic FM's popular, but you don't need to twist the knife on XFM.
He's making it more personal.
He's making it more personal. Well, that, to be honest, does not help the matter. Because he's used the phrase shrouded in mystery. He hasn't actually said what kind of mystery it's shrouded in. If anything, Suchet's made matters worse. Do you know, if anything, his brother David, whose job is to clean up mysteries, should be the man you'd have gone to rather than John. But thank you, John. That was lovely. Keep listening to the podcast, although I don't know if that's actually true. Do you listen to the John Suchet podcast, Neil?
I don't know if there is one, but if there was...
So there's no. That's a no. That's
if there is, I would.
So if there... Well, I'm going to search during the... Maybe the next week, you should go, John, we've got another question. Could you clean up the question, we don't know whether you have a podcast? I don't know. Then you'll have to listen to it each week, and I'll do a quiz for you on what John Suchet's mentioned in his podcast. Thank you, John Suchet. It's been an honour working with you.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Ocean Colour Scene, the Riverboat Song. It's long, isn't it? It's about 5 minutes. What were people thinking in the 90s? So that's Ocean Colour Scene, the Riverboat Song, and this is XFM on a Saturday morning with Josh Widdicombe and producer Neil.
Hiya.
No, that's not the catchphrase.
Oh, sorry. Morning.
Did you see someone this week wanted a catchphrase shout out? I'm gonna go back through the tweets and find it. Then you can give them a direct your catchphrase straight at them.
Okay.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable what people want, isn't it?
It's not even a good catchphrase.
What do they want? Blood from a stone? I mean, do they not know you've got to produce a radio show? You can't just go dedicate your catchphrase willy-nilly. I worry that I've now built a rod for your back here, and we're going to be deluged with tweets going, it's my mum's 70th. Can you give her a morning, please? So we got two texts in, one for each subject. That's how we like to do it. Two subjects this morning. Which do you want to go first with, Neil?
Chronological, number one.
Chronological, number one. Oh yeah, okay. So number one was I think it was a festival or holiday packing mishaps. I think we should call it festival or holiday packing disasters. There's currently someone who was halfway through penning a tweet and they've gone, that was more of a mishap than a disaster. I'll just delete that and not tweet it in. It doesn't matter, it's the same thing. This is from Freddie Clark. Good name. This is a strong start. Found a tent in the Tesco sale the day before the really wet Reading Festival a few years back. Chuffed. It shouldn't be going to Reading Festival if you're using the word chuffed. Arrived at Reading in the rain after gloating about my bargain. Turned out the new price didn't include tent poles. Now, where to start with Freddie Clark? The Tesco sale. I like to imagine that it was like a Tesco value item. It was a blue and white striped tent with tent written in big red letters. He doesn't say what happened. I want to know what... I mean, that is amazing. Is it all going to be tent-based today? Is it all just going to be people's camping mishaps? Or disasters? It depends. Also, who gloats about their... I mean, the whole thing is just depressing for Freddie. I mean, although, to be honest, he's about to have his spots knocked off after 11 when Tom Craine arrives with his windbreak. So that's the kind of thing we're looking for on that. I'm pleased with that. I don't really know where to go with it because it's all there. I would kind of like to know whether he had to improvise. You couldn't improvise poles, could you?
Get some twigs. I'm trying to think.
I don't think you could get some twigs that would bend perfectly into a kind of dome-shaped tent.
Unless you just kind of used it as a sheet, so you put your sleeping bag and everything in it and then just climb in.
Like you were kind of shrink-wrapped.
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
Yeah, and then they could use one of the pumps that you'd use for a lilo to get all the air out, just to perfectly shrink-wrap you in. I hope Freddie thought of that. Now, on the other subject, which was sleeping through things. This This is from Sarah, and she spelt her name S-A-R-A, open brackets H, close brackets, as if she doesn't know how to spell her own name. Or you can have it with or without an H. So we're gonna go without. This is from Sarah. On this, my favourite sentence before we start, can I just say is the last sentence? Maybe you want to make the music sound a bit more sad at that point. My mum slept through Jimi Hendrix at the Isle of Wight Festival in 1970 when she was 16. She lied to her parents, telling them that she was going camping with her friend and snuck off to the festival. She'd been awake for days without any sleep, and bad timing meant they caught up with her for Jimmy's set. Sadly, he died a month later. Perfect timing. I love that she sadly died a month later, as if it's related to the anecdote in any way.
Well, because you'd never get the chance again.
Some say Jimi Hendrix died of a broken heart. Due to the Isle of Wight Festival audience being one smaller than he'd hoped. Some say we'll never know. Thank you very much, Sarah.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
I've just noticed I've got a few stray tea leaves in my tea. From, like the kind of scuzz that gets off the bag. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. But getting me through this situation, producer Neil.
Morning.
And now we are joined by Tom Craine.
Hello, how you doing?
Former boyfriend of Sarah Harding.
You're really pushing on with that.
Really pushing on.
So this is what this is like, probably the 5th or 6th show I've done, and you're just still really pushing this. Is my man. Yeah.
It's going to be awkward if you get together. Now we've got you here for a reason, Tom.
Yeah, let's not beat around the bush.
Let's cut to the chase.
Something big happened on Twitter last week.
Now so you went to Glastonbury last week, Tom.
With you?
With me.
Yeah.
Maybe if you'd just like to. For the listeners at home, we tweeted a picture which will help illustrate this story, and this was
this is the picture I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
It's not the one of me naked dancing in a field, is it?
No.
Okay, good. Because that was just me and you.
Any doctors? We've tweeted a picture, and Tom wants to get it checked out. Right, take us through it, Tom.
Okay, I'm not really a camping man, as you know. You can probably tell from this voice. It's not really. I like hot showers and, that sort of thing, box sets. So when we were booked to do Glastonbury, I realised I didn't have a tent. I had no equipment whatsoever. Didn't have a sleeping bag. So Josh and I went into town to try and buy some equipment. I bought what I thought was a tent from the guy in the shop. And then when we got to the campsite in Glastonbury...
Also, it was by this point we knew it was flowery.
Yeah, we'll take you through step by step. Yeah, it was a floral tent. But the reason I bought it is because it was half price, and he also sold me a matching sleeping bag for a... because I could save a £5, and it'll be worth it in the long run, apparently. So I thought, it's fine. It's a festival. People are hammered. They don't know what I could be sleeping in anything. So I bought this thing. He initially told me that I didn't need any tent pegs. It would be fine, that it would just stay on the ground. And I said, what happens if I get out? And he went, oh yeah, that's a good point. Because what he essentially tried to tell me there was a kite, which would actually be better than what he actually told me. We then got to Glastonbury.
It would have been amazing if you'd been watching the Rolling Stones in your tent and drifted onto stage.
I'd snagged on that metal bird above the... Is that my tent?
Quarter life.
Those are my Calvin Kleins hanging off the beak.
People booing your tent.
Or I would see that taking out the entire band straight to the face of the bassist. Luckily that didn't happen, but the problem was actually possibly even worse than that. We got to the campsite, and I arrogantly pointed to people kind of getting their proper tents out with their guy ropes and their pegs, thinking, what the hell are you doing with your life? Come on, guys, just get a pop-out tent like I have, and let's enjoy the festival.
Oh yeah, that was one of the advantages. You have to put it up and pop out. Itself.
I then threw it to the ground, at which point it was supposed to pop out and become a tent. Unfortunately, it didn't pop out and become a tent. It popped out and became a windbreak. The sort of thing pensioners change behind on the beach. In front of everyone, like a really bad magic trick. That was the worst thing, the fact that it happened in a second. I threw it to the ground like the world's greatest idiot, and then, way! So this windbreak appeared in front of everyone, and then I've never seen Josh laugh harder.
It was amazing.
I was facing 3 days of sleeping in the cold, but Josh has never been happier at seeing this thing emerge in front of me.
So.
I then tweeted about this, and it went viral. And ended up in the Daily Mirror. I had to do like 5 or 6 radio interviews. It's been in loads of papers, and it's like 2,000 or something retweets, all that sort of stuff. It's ridiculous. All of my comedy, everything I've ever honed, every Edinburgh show I've done has been nowhere near as successful as me buying a pop-out windbreak. So that's where it's gone viral.
Astonishing. It's genuinely one of the greatest stories ever told.
So you can see it on the XFM Twitter feed, is that right?
Yeah.
The
we're
bleakness.
Hoping it will go viral again.
Should we say where I slept?
Oh, yeah.
I slept in what was Josh's friend's storage tent. It was previously used for Wellington boots and food, and had been pitched at an angle across rocks and a bush. And I slept there for 3 days and ruined my back because I was too lazy to move it. Just actually literally sleeping at an angle across. Just
the best thing was when we were in the camping shop. The guy claimed that it could sleep 2 at a push.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast XFM.
Back, as always, Mr. James Acaster.
Hello, Josh.
You right?
Well, yeah, I was alright.
Until what?
Until I turned up this morning, and it turns out you've got someone else in telling their scrapes. Now, what? Does the word loyalty mean anything to you, you snivelling little worm? I mean, coming on this show, opening my heart up to the nation, exposing myself to embarrassment week after week, sharing my scrapes. They call me the Scrape Master, Josh. That isn't a title one just like plucks out of thin air. You have to earn that. Someone once tweeted at me saying that the sign to Kettering should say Home of the Scrape Master underneath it, right? Does Tom Craine live in Kettering? No. He comes from Bath.
I just think if you've got a good scrape, you know, if a man's got a good scrape, you should air
Bring it in, mate.
Yeah, well, get your own show, Craine. Go and be someone else's. Turn up on the last hour of someone else's show and have your own little. Be classic japes with Tom Craine, telling about the time he clearly deliberately bought a windbreak just so he could get on the radio and try and steal someone's thunder. Steal bread out of my own mouth.
Not a good
out
time.
of my own mouth.
Not a good time to bring up Crane's other scrapes at Glastonbury.
Yeah, well, I heard you had
that was just the beginning, James.
Yeah.
So you come in with your one scrape if you're lucky.
Mate.
I've got like a smorgasbord. I've got a buffet of scrapes, mate.
Yeah, well, some of us
That's a bit of
don't
this, bit of
organise
that.
a weekend away with Josh and then deliberately scrape it up around him just to
Scrape
try
it
and
up.
get on the radio.
Right, Crane, let's go to your other two scrapes.
Okay.
I'll just fill in one of the scrapes was that my friend Holly, who is James's flatmate at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're living in her house.
Just living in a house, man.
Her and John met me at the Rolling Stones and said, "Oh, we've just seen Tom Craine. He was being strangled by his own lanyard."
I did. It got caught by the wind, and I couldn't breathe. It twisted round, and a pair of Dutch tourists had gone off to try and find scissors for me to release me. But in that interim, Holly Walsh, a comedian, they had to free me. I genuinely couldn't breathe. It was trapping my Adam's apple. And what was weird is, as they were cutting
Reeks of desperation.
As they were cutting me free, James, they were saying, "This is far funnier than anything James has ever offered." And I said, "That's not important, let me breathe." But they said, "No, I must make this point. Scrape-wise, this is amazing."
Right, tell us your final scrape, Crane.
My final scrape was, after the Rolling Stones at 1 a.m, I decided I needed some food, so I bought a hamburger and chips for 10 quid, because it's all going very well career-wise, it's not a problem. And I was walking back down to my campsite, and about 30 seconds, I realised, away from my tent, or windbreak, I realised I didn't have any knife and fork. So I stopped at a baked potato van and asked if I could have a knife and fork, and he said, "Have you bought anything?" And I went, "No." He goes, "Well, you're going to have to do something for me. You're going to have to do 10 press-ups to learn the knife and fork." At which point I said the bleakest sentence ever, which was, "Please don't make me do this." I then did 10 press-ups while people stood around and chanted and clapped. I only made 8. I couldn't finish the press-ups. And he kept going, "Oh, keep going, keep going." I ended up grabbing a knife and fork and going, "No, I think that's quite enough of that," and then running into my that's quite enough of that. But yeah, people gathered around and chanted as I tried to do enough press-ups to get a wooden knife and fork.
Wow.
That is bleak.
There we go. What we've done there is Crane has got rid of all his scrapes, and we can now move on.
I bet he's got more. I bet he's got more up his sleeve. Try and ambush me later on.
I'm writing them now. Most of them aren't true.
I've had loads of scrapes happen to me this week, mate. Loads.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast XFM.
Bastille, Laura Palmer. Laura Palmer's the song. I mean, that Laura Palmer sounds more like the artist, and Bastille should be the song. But I'm right, aren't I?
Yes, you are. It was after the lead female in Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Well.
There we
Trivia,
go.
everyone.
Trivia!
He's done it. I bet you're recording this. We're going to play it to someone else later on. I did it. I told him it. There you go.
I mean this, Neil. That's possibly the most boring fact I've ever heard. But that's really takes some doing. That's
Right,
well done.
right. So, still here, producer Neil,
Morning.
Tom Craine,
Hello.
and James Acaster. Now, James, you're worried Craine is taking your scrapes.
I'm not worried, mate.
We've got a text from Dom in Watford.
Oh, here we go.
That starts, if you're taking other scrapes.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the party, Dom.
Also, we've just got another one. We'll come back to Dom, but it is a point. It is a point that I've just received. So Tom comes from Bath, but needs a knife and fork to eat a burger and chips. WTF?
Yeah, I know, but I don't like. Basically, if at a festival, you've seen the toilets and all sort of stuff. It's filthy. So I get weird about that sort of eating food with my hands at festivals.
That's
so like rock and roll, isn't it?
WTF stands for why the fork?
So I don't.
Fork?
And the answer
Why the
is
fork, Craine? You don't need that.
so I don't get dysentery. That's the answer.
All right, Dom in Watford. I mean, this is one of my favourite. That again was from Helen, who said touche, souche. She's having a great morning. Wow.
It's pretty much her show, isn't it now?
Absolute screamer, Helen. Keep it up.
Right. If you're taking, I mean, this is. You know when a text leaves more questions than it answers? If you're taking other scrapes, I have one involving wearing a dead man's t-shirt and getting moisturiser rubbed into my chest by a 60-year-old woman.
Right.
That's it.
That's where it ends. Well, we've all got one of those, Dom. So, Dom, if you think you're special with that,
That's something that happens on a stag do in Amsterdam, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Dom, if you want to
That
text in with more details of that, although
Wearing a dead man's t-shirt and having moisturiser, what was it?
rubbed into my chest by a 60-year-old woman. Yeah, it's not the other way round.
We should
Not
have
wearing a
bets
60-year-old
on what-
t-shirt and getting moisturised into my chest by a dead man.
We should have bets on what the story is. I think
Yeah,
he
okay.
was pretending to be her husband. who was passed away, and he dressed up in his clothes just to get some sweet action from the lady.
I'm sold on that. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
We're going to go with that. I'm very excited to hear what it is. Oh, Dom's tweeted in again.
Hello, Dom.
It's not as sordid as it sounds reading that back.
Okay.
Mate, I don't see how you're going to clear this up.
Dom, we're going to need more tweets on that. This is live radio at its best. Just what are you doing? Just filling until Dom tweets us again.
No doubt at some point Helen will come in with a singer, so it'll be okay.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
This is Josh Widdicombe and producer Neil. Have we got any news on Dom?
Dom.
Have you put your bed music back on, Neil?
Neil's bed music.
This is his new music for us to talk over. What do you think of it?
That's lovely. Very nice.
It's on the shopping channel.
Stop trying to fill. We're still waiting for Dom. And he's not. Dom has let the story go cold. He's not delivered.
Music up. I was enjoying that music.
Dom is like the texter in a equivalent of Lost.
No, he hasn't texted in. So that is it. But
Wait a
Dom, you've missed your chance. Wait a minute.
Imagine if the rest of the show was just you refreshing Twitter. Could be.
Come on,
no,
Dom.
it's an advert. No.
I wonder what's
Dom is
happened to
playing
Dom
me like
in the
a cheap
meantime.
violin, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I bet he was about to. He literally like got a knock on the door and answered it, and it's like one of his friends needs his help. He's like, I can't. I've got to send a text. Dom, come on, Stuart's trapped underneath a car. Just come.
Get the
For
t-shirt.
God's sake, man!
What we need, Dom, is a t-shirt and some moisturiser to set him free.
I actually think that Dom has stuck together 3 random words and now can't back it up with a story. He thought,
crying.
how maverick and weird can I go? This will get me on air. Oh no, this has gone through. This is going to be
in his living room. Oh, Dom, when will you learn? I've done it again.
Well, sorry, Dom. You've sadly going to press refresh one more time. It's there.
Is it actually there? Dominic.
Is it really? Oh, this is great radio.
Dom,
hello the Sonys.
Right.
Take a breath,
Now,
everyone.
Everyone take a breath, because I haven't read this, so I might have to cut it off at any point. Right. To cut a long story short, don't do that, Dom.
You did that first time, Dom. Look where that got us.
Well, it's Twitter, isn't it? You have
I
to-
was working in an old people's home laundry and got covered in detergent that burns and bleaches the skin.
Fun times.
I was corralled into one of the residence showers by the aforementioned woman and found myself in the odd position of getting naked in front of some old woman's room. In some old woman's room. Once I got...
This music really suits this story, by the way.
Like a weird after-dinner speaker.
Once I got out, my work top was soaked and I was handed a t-shirt. Upon asking where it came from, it's got a bit jazzy now. Yeah. I got the reply, let's just say he doesn't need it anymore. I went back to the laundry. I went back to the laundry to finish work and complained that I had minor burns on my chest. Before I could move, this predator of a woman had her hands on my top and was rubbing moisturiser into my chest. One of the strangest days at work ever.
The music makes it sound like, I imagine when Frank Sinatra would tell stories between songs.
Yeah. And
there, they moisturise my chest to stop the burning. When the moon hits your eyes like...
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
We now come to your moment in the sun, James. The week of your classic scrape.
Classic scrapes. A lot of pressure on this one this week.
Yeah,
I've already had scrapes from Craine. Dom stuck his oar in earlier. Few small ones actually to begin with, just to let you know that I'll have you know, right? In case you're doubting that I'm the real scrape master. This week I dropped some milk on the floor. I was walking up a hill, back from the post office. Where I was visiting my parents. They said, go and get us some milk. I said, all right. I went down, bought some milk. On the way back home, I dropped it, smashed everywhere. So, don't go thinking I'm not the scrape master. Also, I was trying to... me and my friends wanted to find out what would happen if you texted yourself on your phone.
Yeah.
So...
how much time have you got on your hands?
Yeah, well, quite a long time. So I tried to... I actually don't know if I can say this word. Can I say this? Neil, can I say that top one and there? Say that.
Second one.
The second one down on the Is that allowed?
We're all in it.
Here we go. Drum roll, please.
I don't know if that's allowed.
Not really.
Not allowed.
Come on, James.
Huh?
Have a look.
It was a rude word. It's a rude little thing. It's a rude little...
It's an action more than a word.
Yeah. So I thought, I'll text that. The second
Text
word,
a rude phrase.
The second word is fun, and the first word rhymes with fun. And I thought I would text that to myself. Yeah. And you can't just choose your own number out of the list because it's not there. So I had to type my own number in, text myself, and I wasn't getting the text through. And I looked again and realised I'd typed one of the numbers wrong. And just
amazing.
Just texted that to a stranger.
Did they reply?
No, I didn't get a reply. If I put a question mark at the end, maybe I would have got a reply. No.
Well.
But you got your own number wrong.
Yeah. Well, I just clearly quite clumsy with the old
the old
input.
fingers.
Anyway,
the old digits.
The main scrape this week.
Yeah,
I have to go in the archives. And because Crane's telling the story about windbreak and I take it that was a rough night's sleep, Craine.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd do a similar story.
Okay,
I think that's what we've got to do. Now, cast your mind back to the winter of 2008.
Yeah.
I'm an open mic comedian, right? I'm earning my chops.
Yeah, I know, but what were you doing then?
Hey!
Walked into that one.
The old skills kick back in.
As if Helen is in the room.
Yeah.
I've got myself a gig in Basingstoke. Mirth control. Thank you very much, Jeff Whiting. Right. I'm the open spot on the bill. Now there was someone supposed to be driving me back to London.
Yeah.
The opening act on the bill supposed to be driving me back to London. I get there. He does his set. I do my set, and then he goes, "I've changed my mind. I don't want to go back to London anymore." I said, "What?"
Why didn't he want to go back to London?
Well, this is what I said. This is believe it or not, Josh, that was my immediate question. Why now? Why are you telling me this? He said, I've got a girl that I'm kind of seeing. She lives near here. I'm going to go around to her house. I was like, right. Okay, so I legged it.
Come?
Yeah. Has she got a spare sofa bed? Mate, I'm an open micer. I can't afford a hotel. This is awful. Ran to the train station. Missed the train. All the trains had stopped. Went back to the venue. Tried to convince him. He wasn't having any of it. Went to the bar staff. Said, "Can I stay at the pub?" They said no, but there is a train leaving from Basingstoke. Oh, this gig was in Andover, by the way. Yeah. I said, "There's a train leaving from Basingstoke at midnight. You can get that one if the guy drives you as far as that." So he drives me over there. Also, all the way there in the car, he's moaning at me that he had a bad gig and I had a good one. Now,
Okay.
I don't know bang about
This
it.
story doesn't seem believable now.
Yeah. he kept saying to me, I don't know what was wrong with that crowd. I mean, they weren't laughing at my sex stuff, but you told a joke about bubbles and they were laughing at that.
The guy from Big Brother.
Yeah. Michael Jackson's monkey, mate. Michael Jackson monkey jokes. They're not done enough nowadays.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He drops me off. He speeds off.
Okay.
He doesn't come back. By the way, I've also been in Andover since 1 o'clock because I had to get the cheap trains back then. Right, I've been kicking around all day. During the day, I was working on a short film at the time, so I had to do shopping for some wardrobe. And I went to a shop, bought a red dress to fill the day in, and then
What was the film? Schindler's List?
With Christopher Bergen.
it went really well. It ended up being like a massive film, won loads of Oscars, but I didn't get any credit. I also sat on a bench to pass the time by the town hall, and a massive strong guy came and sat down and took up so much of the bench that his elbows acted like like on a roller coaster where the thing comes down and locks you in. It's like that, I couldn't move.
Who thinks they're going to kill time by sitting on a bench? That's not an option. You go to a cinema, you read a book. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to sit on a bench.
I spent all my money on a dress, mate. I couldn't afford.
You're not Forrest Gump.
I had no money. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have started up a box of chocolates chat with that guy. He wouldn't have wanted to hear any of my stories about Bubba and Lieutenant Dan.
Okay, so you're sat on that bench, then what happens?
He sat down, he kept me. I was trapped for ages. At one point, someone came on and started chatting to him. He was being really rude to everyone as well. He was shouting people over. And the lady chatting to him got a phone call and went, yeah, I know, I'm just talking to Dan and one of his loser mates, which was me. I wasn't even... Anyway.
Yeah.
Basingstoke train station. Guy drops me off, he speeds off. I run to the train station. They're locking it up. There's no midnight train. I was lied to.
Yeah.
There's no last train out of town.
There's no last train out of Basingstoke. Forget it. I say, right, can I sleep in the station now? No. Look at my mobile phone. It's dead. I look in my wallet. No money.
Oh.
I'm now in a bind. I'm like, right, I've got to do something. I'm walking around trying to think. I'll notice in front of the train station quite a large and warm-looking bush.
Warm-looking bush?
It looked like it was insulated quite well, right? There was a nice little nook. I thought, right, it's 6 hours to the next train. I know that much. They told me that. I was going to crawl in there, fall asleep. 6 hours goes pretty quickly when you're asleep. Right, I'll do that.
In a bush?
In a bush.
Why did you go back to the bench?
Mate, the bench was all the way back in Andover.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Dan's probably still sitting on there. I don't want to be messing with him again. Crawl into the bush. By the way, it's been a really hot day. So I've got like a t-shirt and jeans on. I'm freezing. Sitting in the bush, and I can't sleep. Obviously. I'm terrified. It's a Friday night in Basingstoke. Like, there's people, just drunk. I can hear drunk people from miles.
Are you not tempted to go out till 3 a.m. Find a club or something?
Josh, how well do you know me? I'm not going to go. Excellent opportunity for me to do a bit of Basingstoke raving.
He's going to sit in a bush.
Sit in the bush for a bit, mate. It's more
So
my
you sat in the bush?
than the Ray Mears of the comedy world. Sat in the bush. It's freezing. So eventually, to warm myself, I put the only item of clothing on that I had.
Oh!
Not ashamed of it. I put the dress on, right? Red dress, put it on. Really big shoulder pads on the dress, which I hadn't realised when I bought it. And I realised that. Also, double gutted. I realised this is not going to go very well for the film. It's not the style that we want. I'm there in the red dress. I've also got on me a Dave Eggers book, and I'm reading that, and I'm eating some brioche that I bought earlier that day. The most decadent tramp in all of Basingstoke, sitting there eating the brioche, reading Dave Eggers and wearing a red dress.
Did it have long sleeves?
Had long sleeves. It came down to just above my ankles, which would be very risky back in the Victorian times. I think we all know that. Quite a racy dress.
Like a salsa dancer having a breakdown.
Yeah. I'm really kind of like... And obviously checking my watch to see how close I was to the next train. The scariest point of the night, I sat there and two really drunk men were walking along the road, and they stopped right in front of my bush. Well, it was my bush by that point. This is my turn. And one of them started going, "Joe, what we haven't done for a while."
Oh no.
He went, "No." I didn't know people had this kind of conversation, by the way. He went, "We haven't beat someone up in ages." Literally that's straightforward. I'm sitting there going, if you look down now, it's going to be like Christmas. put it down there and go, there's a guy in a dress sitting in a bush eating brioche.
Yeah. You have a weird Christmas.
Yeah.
That's like Christmas, but yeah.
That's what Christmas is like for me. Is it not for you? guy in a dress eating brioche comes in. That's old Nick, right? That's what everyone else was taught. So I had to hide. So what I did was I got the plastic bag that the dress came in and put it over my head. So that I would look like just a plastic bag in a bush next to an old discarded dress. And I stayed very, very quiet until they eventually went away. And then,
had you died from hypothermia during the night and you'd been found like that, what sort of backstory would they? What they'd assume awful things would happen to you, like some kind of like it's almost like when a politician is found. Or
bag over my head, wearing a dress, brioche in my hand.
Yeah.
Just to sum up, did you just stay up all night and then get the first train home?
Yeah. I would like to point out when I got on the train, I took the dress off.
Yeah,
but not wear that all the way back to London and the bag. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Well done. You win, I think.
There's a scrape, and that goes to Indy44, who I noticed tweeted, "Family, friends, and neighbours all gathered round the wireless in anticipation. ... waiting for the true master of scrapes, James Acaster."
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Frank Turner, The Way I Tend to Be, and that is it on XFM. Just one more thing to do. That's not it for XFM, that's it for this show on XFM. And that is, as a thank you, James and Tom, if you'd like to plug. Who'd like to go first? Do you want to go first, James?
Sure.
That's an old hand. And Neil, because he said he had enjoyed the show.
And Cranes, yeah.
He's, Neil, you said, because it's been such a lovely show, you're not going to give him a time limit.
No.
Within reason.
Neil's just going to sing the countdown music himself.
Why don't you do your Edinburgh show?
Yeah, brilliant. Here we go, people. It's a sneak preview.
Right, ready?
Yep.
Right,
very short. It probably won't even... I'm on tour in the autumn. JamesAcaster.com for tickets. And I'm also doing the Edinburgh Festival in August. I think you can get tickets for that online. I haven't got a link on my website for that. I should have done that. Just thought of that now.
Watch and learn, I remember you say.
But you know, just put in James Acaster Edinburgh Festival. You'll probably find some ticket links there. Yeah. You know.
Is that it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough.
Also, you've got a red dress for sale as well, haven't you?
Also, if anyone would like a red dress and was advice on a great place to stay in Basingstoke.
Tom?
Yeah, my website is tomcraine.com, CRAINE, and you can buy tickets for my Edinburgh show on there, and also you can buy my Radio 4 sketch series via there as well. That is all.
Do you want to promote your other Edinburgh show?
Oh yeah, I've got another. Yeah, of course, I've got two shows. I'm also in a sketch show called Jigsaw, so you can, if you want to get tickets for either of those, that'd be lovely. It'd be lovely to see you there.
And you can go... I'm doing a show in Edinburgh, so I think if you just Google Josh Widdicombe Edinburgh Festival, then you can find tickets there.
Josh Widdicombe.